Good evening, everyone. I'm just giving myself a moment so I can just center myself. So welcome back to Free Flame Thoughts, guys. It's been a minute. And as you guys know, I have been absent for a while as I am featuring on other things and doing other bits and pieces on media. So today, I'm opening up the channels and I'm going to be having two of my favorite guests. Well, let me not say that because people are going to start getting jealous, but two of my favorite guests. They go by the name of Triggered Thoughts Podcast. And today we're going to be discussing a few topics. One being, what could we implement in a school curriculum to make a difference to young people today? And number two, why do people date down? And so much more. So let's get into it. Thank you for those in advance who's joining us, and please tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's get involved. And today, whoever's watching, you guys are welcome to jump on the live as well and have your say. Yeah, this is a community page, so that's what I'm about. So let me see. Okay, so firstly, we have Verbs from the Triggered Thoughts podcast. Let's accept him. We have Genius. Hi, everyone. Instagram, don't give me no problems today, please. One thing that it does is, I should have reminded you guys as well, that if you don't, hi and greetings to you, welcome. Sometimes it plays up the Hi, you all right? I'm going to just have a quick one. Guys, sometimes we find it difficult to log on, viewers or even speakers, because our apps need updating. So if you have any technicalities, it could just be that. Yeah?
Yeah.
So if you have issues logging on, guys, speakers and viewers, it may just mean we have to constantly be updating our IG app. Yeah. Genius.
Yes.
Welcome.
You're right. Oh, you're right.
What's going on?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you in advance for being here. I'm waiting for your partner in
Where is
shall
he?
I say crime?
He's sitting. Let's look on.
Yeah, of course.
A minute.
Welcome to everyone on the live. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and thank you in advance. Yeah, are we playing up? It's trying to play up. It's trying to play up. IG, start already.
Yeah, that's. Oh, there we.
It's all right. Oh, here he is.
Yeah.
Hello, how do we do?
Hello, you're right.
Hello, what were you doing? Are you putting on your makeup? What one?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, about you got grand entrance. One to you.
Come on.
Hi everyone, welcome to Free Flame Thoughts. For those who don't already know, my name is Silver and I'm your host. Today I'm hoping to trigger the thoughts of Triggered Thoughts podcast, and we're going to get into it on a few subjects today. Yeah, fellas? All right. So thank you in advance to everybody. And guys, we are opening up the channel, but you guys are welcome to jump in on the live and have your say. And so, yeah, it's a community page, so let's make it happen, yeah? So just a brief reminder, today we're going to be talking about a few subjects, one being, what lessons do we think that the school curriculum could implement to make a difference to the young people in this generational climate, as I like to say. Another topic we're going to touch on is, why do some of us low-key date down? What's the pros and cons? There's a lot of cons and less pros I'm hearing, so we're going to get into it, yeah? Yeah?
I like it.
Yeah, blessings, you guys. Thank you for being here. All right, so guys, before I get into it and before we get into the warm-up zone, it's been a minute. I've been in my hot seat properly, so I have to warm up as well, Yeah. All right. So how have you guys been today? How have you spent your day before coming on this live with me? What you guys been up to? Talk to me.
I just finished a 3-day detox.
Ooh.
So Yeah.
My kind
So
of conversation, really?
yeah, 3 days no food, water only. So I broke today. I broke today.
Okay, what was your reasons for going on a fast other than the typical clinical reasons? What was that for?
Oh,
Spirituality, or just a body cleanse, or body, mind,
but
spirit, or
body cleanse. Body cleanse, yeah.
and
Body cleanse,
what
yeah.
did you break your fast with?
Fruits. You have to always break
Nice.
it with fruits because the villi in your stomach is sleeping, so the stomach needs to be slowly awakened.
Okay. Wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
First of all, big up my sister on the live. What's going on, Lipsy?
Yeah,
Long time, long time.
big up
So
Black
okay, so you spent
Caesar
your
as well.
time
Big
kind of
up Black
unwind.
Caesar.
What was
Yeah.
that?
Big up Black Caesar, our boy from the
Oh,
Bronx.
Yeah.
oh, you know what? Thank you everyone for being here today. So you've been on your fast and you've been breaking your fast today and prepping yourself that way and then coming on the live, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And what about you, Verbs? What you been up to today?
Just busy, man. Out getting furniture, planning to decorate again. So, yeah, it's just been pure up and down, man. Manual labor and all that, man.
Well, us on behalf of us women, we are glad to hear that you are a man that's hands-on. I say nothing more. We'll leave that just there, yeah?
Yeah, I know.
I'm glad
Thanks,
to hear it. I'm
Amber.
glad to hear it. All
Yeah.
right. So, guys, I often do something like the warm-up zone, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's not no quiz question as such, just a little bit so people can get to know you guys just a little bit, yeah? Is that all right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So tell us, let's start with obviously your Triggered Thoughts podcast. So you love to trigger people's thoughts, yeah? And I'm free flowing thoughts. Can you imagine the collab right now? What's going on?
I know.
Yeah.
Thoughts
Yeah,
everywhere.
right.
Thoughts.
So tell us, I know you guys are a bit mysterious, so what can I ask you? Let me ask you something like individually, what's your favorite hobbies, if you have any?
Verbs, you going?
Yeah, I'm a bit of an artist, so I like to do like creative stuff, innit? So,
Oh,
yeah, whether it's like designing visuals or images, obviously I do a lot of the images and video work for Triggered Thoughts podcast, so that's my thing. Or if I get some real time, then I like to like do stuff like painting on canvases and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
nice. I'm gonna see if I can get you to do me some logos, isn't it? Let's see how that works. I'm still trying
Yeah,
to pass my
cool.
brain on how, what, where.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're quite creative. You're a bit of an artist,
Mm.
and you, G?
I love technology. I'd say social media, right? But
Okay.
apart from that, I like to talk on true theorist. So
Oh,
so yeah, I wouldn't. In the past, people have labeled me as a conspiracy theorist. I hate that term.
oh, I
I
love all
feel
that.
that.
I love,
So
I love all that. Mm.
so I rather true theorist, not conspiracy theorist, because as you know, that word is negative. But on top of that, it's a way to
Mm.
like discount certain information and throw people off to label you as a crazy person, if that makes
Mm.
sense.
In this
Yeah.
climate of people,
Yeah.
absolutely. So my
Mm.
second warm-up question for you would be, who are you when no one's watching? I don't say you're me, innit? Who are you when no one's
That's
watching?
a bloody good question.
Yeah, it's a good question, man.
First of all, let me big up Lipsy 94 in the comments. She just said we love a handy Andy, so I guess she's
That's my
talking
sister,
about
that's
me
my
with the
sister.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, handy Andy I am. So yeah, big up to
Yeah.
you. So,
So yeah,
um, yeah, oh, go on, genius.
yeah. So
And
I'm
if you don't actually have an answer, you don't even have to answer that because, all right, let me just let me
yeah,
prep you on
go,
that, right? The reason why I
go.
always ask that
Yeah,
question relentlessly, because we are used to say, and viewers relate to me, we
yeah,
say, I'm a mum, I'm a dad, I'm a doctor, I'm
yeah,
a plumber. Is that who you are? Or is that your handles? If I removed all
yeah,
of that, who would we be?
yeah,
Yeah. So I never say I am, I guess, I mean, if I say I'm art, that
yeah,
could be because without anything around me, I'm still artistic.
yeah, yeah,
And I didn't say
Yeah,
autistic, I said artistic.
yeah.
yeah.
I might be both, who knows? But yeah, I'm just saying.
No,
Yeah. So
You know what I mean?
yeah. So
So I mean, that could be a question that you reflect on, but
no.
I
So
mean,
I love I like that. It's a good question, man. It just
Who are
reminds
we
me.
when no one is watching? That could be that could be depression for some people. That could be
Mm.
that can be passion for another.
Yeah,
That could be, I mean, I have different answers on different days because you don't have to have the same metaphors just because it, you know,
yeah.
so mostly I say I'm art, I am passion, I could be anything depending on the day. I'm spirit. It
Mm,
depends. I mean, how would you, what dominates your character really would be pretty much who you are when no one's watching.
I like that. Yeah, definitely. Obviously, got a beautiful missus, two young kings.
So is that
I
who you are when no one's watching?
that, but also I do employment support. So my
Okay, so
job
you're giving
revolves
me
around.
handles then, right?
Yeah,
You're giving me, that's not the soul of you.
Yeah, that's
And
what you.
I'll take it
Yeah,
for today. I'll tell you why I'll take it because it's not a question that you've. It's one of those. I
it's a
mean,
deep
viewers,
question,
maybe you
man.
can help me out with. Maybe the viewers can also tell us
Yeah,
bits about who they are. So viewers, maybe in the inbox, tell us what. Like, let's just have a moment where you can tell me who are you when no one's watching. Like, and maybe before the
yeah.
end of the show, you can tell me, fellas, who you think you are. No pressure. Yeah, and that can be
Hmm.
different on a whole nother show. So yeah, maybe you want time to think about that. What about you, Verbs? You got any answers or you're
honestly, I'm
peaceful?
just
I
a,
love that. I
I'm just
love
a,
that. Is that vibes?
innit?
Yeah, you're peaceful. I love that.
Yes, man. Big up, Sonny
I
Son in the
like that.
I
building. Yeah,
love that.
yeah. I'm like a spiritualist. I'm just like
Ooh.
chill,
But
but
you
I'm
know, spiritualist
expressive.
has light and dark. So it depends on
Yeah,
which
that's.
version you're
I
talking
was just
about.
gonna say that, because a lot of people say I'm
Just,
spiritual, but what kind of spiritual?
Yeah, that's a whole. I
Spiritual for
love
the light,
spirituality and them talks,
spiritual in the
So
dark.
no, I'm a
yeah,
good.
no, but I
I'm
love
a, I'm
that.
a,
I love
I'm a
that.
positive. I'm a positive spirit, but at the same time, if I'm pushed, then the mad spirit comes out, innit?
Oh, I
All
don't like the
right.
sound of that.
I'm on my
Mm.
best behavior view tonight. Okay. All right. And the last question I'll give you in the warm up, I'm sure your viewers are like, get into it, get into the conversation. Is
Innit?
if you could implement any change in the world, what would it be?
Stop all this
Um,
killing. Stop all the killing with all these youths.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because remember, the youth are the future. So if they are annihilating each other over
Mm-hmm.
foolishness, then it
Yeah.
puts their future in question. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Because remember, if the younger generation are wiping each other out, there's no procreation, which
True.
means now
True.
their life being extinct potentially now kills the future them, if that makes sense.
That is so true. That's a
Mm.
good one.
mm.
Verbs, anything from you? Do you wanna have a moment for that one?
No, I'd keep it simple. I'd say that for mankind to appreciate and understand each other and work together, for the existence of mankind, innit? Because obviously the way that society or mankind is going, it's almost like it feels like we're trying to wipe each other out. You know what I'm
In
saying?
that,
Yep.
in that,
If
that's
we
true.
understood ourselves and understand our importance,
Mm-hmm.
purpose, and assignment, then we'll do our best to make sure that we still exist, innit?
That's true. That's true. That's true. So I'm feeling quite troublesome. I'm going to throw one more in there, right? Because it's one that I think I would love to even hear from the viewers. And maybe you'd already said you have that gift, but if you were to choose any superpower in the whole wide world, what would it be? What would be your superpower?
Boy.
Be invincible, invincible, man.
Oh,
Because you
Mm.
know what I mean, untouchable.
and what about you, Revs?
My one would probably be to time shift.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good
Mm.
one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I would be a healer, but a different level of I mean, really, but that's a whole nother show. But yeah, okay. Well, thank you guys. Let's get in. Thank you for sharing that kind of warm up zone with me and for the viewers also. Yeah, reading minds. But wow, vibes. I'm scared of you. What am I thinking right now? Vibes. What am I thinking? Great debaters. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. So let's get into our subject. Should we start with Should we start with the most important one? I would say, because we talk. We're all relationship based. We can never escape those subjects. So maybe we can get into something helpful that can have us reflect in another level as we start this kind of talk. How about that? Yeah. So our first topic of the hour is going to be what could we implement in lessons in the curriculum to basically, assist the young people of this generation. And the reason why I was so inspired to actually start with that subject, because every time I put on media, it's something else, or every time you hear a neighbor or somebody else, it's something else, another story. And I feel like for the last, I guess, month, it's been on my mind. I'm thinking, what kind of lessons would I have benefited from, or what kind of lessons would you benefited from? So if I was to ask you guys really to think about that, even viewers, I thought about lessons like mindfulness. I thought about lessons like how to combat bullying and how to identify a predator, whether it's not only your family, but teachers and pupils, and lessons of that nature. So what's your thoughts if you could implement anything, even like money management or
Yeah,
anything,
I
the
was
way
just
that you felt
you're reading my
yeah,
mind now. I was
yeah.
gonna say financial literacy.
Oh,
I
yeah,
say that because obviously, like providing a foundation for making informed financial decisions, because I feel that a lot of the youth, the education system doesn't teach them how to be businessmen. It doesn't teach, things like the law. Finances is, as you know, governs the world,
yeah.
and everybody gets up, they go to work for finances. So I feel that that's one of them. Budgeting, understanding the basics of economics. That's one of them.
That'll be a good one. I'm just going to pause you for one quick second. I'm just going to go forward because at this particular viewer of us didn't get time to say her piece. So you said that you would like to be able to. Don't know how I've been squinting my eyes. Able to speak all the languages in the world. Yeah, that would be your superpower.
Yeah,
Love it, love it. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
Well,
going to
that's a
take
good
these
one.
on and off because every time I've got these on, it just has a light reflector. It looks horrible. So like, yeah. So you're talking about money management as well, literacy, because obviously people do like basic maths and that kind of stuff. But I think like it would have been interesting had we even learned things, as we all say, things like how to work for ourselves. We know about all of that, how to be our own necessary boss as opposed to working for, being taught of how to work for somebody else. But let's go more into at this moment, based on what we're seeing with young people a lot, and it's not all. Big up to those young people who are focused, who are let me start there, who are focused, who are individual, and who also has the right guardians and parents and siblings, whatever, that's keeping them on a path where they want to be somebody and being able to, what's the word, withstand the peer pressure of the of society, because
Definitely.
that in itself is one of the main reasons why our children go left.
Yeah.
Let me
It's true.
just say it's not we can't blame every parent
No.
for everything.
No.
So if we look at some of the people that we know, whether it's family, friends, or just even on media, the gangs, the road activities, whether it's the quick money, it could be a child that's at A grade, but they have disturbances.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have this. So what do you feel like, other than things to improve, the wallet, what type of subjects, viewers and guest speakers, do we think that really we should be protesting that they actually add in the curriculum for real? And I'm going to start with the basics, because without this, we can't function. I would say mindfulness, stress management.
Yeah, I had that. I had that down as well. Yeah.
Let's start there. Stress management.
Yeah. Emotional understanding and emotional management. Yeah.
Mm,
Learning how to correct behaviors and responses to various feelings or situations.
mm.
You know what I mean?
So mindfulness, well-being. So let's look at, because when we go back, I kind of feel like, like parents, especially culturally, depending on, what kind of background we got, whether it's African, Asian, or Caribbean, I think our parents just feel like as long as you're fed and you got clothes, you're good. Yeah, we're crying for. What wrong with you? But it's actually the hardest time of your life.
Yeah.
Depending on can you guys relate to that?
Yeah.
Did you
That's
find
it.
school easy in terms of like surroundings, or maybe you felt different and didn't fit in? Maybe you were bullied, or maybe like, did you, you know, or maybe there's a lot of girls that gave in to sexual foreplay with boys because the pressure of saying no or being, then that's the reality.
Yeah.
So you're going to find a lot of girls. Hi everyone. A lot. And the things I don't want to display boys in this conversation. It's very important I don't. But if I'm going to go to that, there are a lot of girls that will be classified as women now who may be promiscuous, but not all started off like that. Some of them was already having sexual exchange from home with their parents.
It's true.
I need to mention these things because it's so important that we do throw words at each other, and we don't really have the time to look at where it comes from. A lot of promiscuous women, they don't even like sex. Let me make you tell that right now.
That's true. Yeah.
But I come from a generation of they've been having it with somebody in the family or some babysitter, and that's starting from the home, from school. So I think that if home is not safe, at the very least, the school can at least provide in advance subjects that allows young people to identify predatory behavior.
100%.
But that's what I was going to say. One of my lessons is going to be sexual self-discipline and healthy sexual attitudes.
That's good. Did they have health visitors in school? They did. Did they not? Health visitors?
Back in my days, I think they did.
Health
Yeah, in my
visitors,
days,
sorry.
yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
So you guys, what was school like for you? Because it's easy for us to kind of sit there. Can we share some tales? Like, what was school like for you? Either one of you can go first. What was it like for you? And then we can maybe reflect on, you know.
Boy, I'd say my school was just like, boy, testosterone and all over the place. A boys' school I went to, you know.
Okay.
Yeah,
What was it like
just like,
going to a boys' school? Because there's a reason why our parents tend to send us to these type of schools, right?
yeah, I think I had a hand in going to that school as well, to be fair. I think it was one of my choices, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, it was just mad. It's like a lot of egos in there and stuff like that, and everybody wants to be top dog and, you know what I mean? All that kind of stuff. And yeah, like, I don't know,
What
it's
was it
mad.
like being
Obviously,
around boys constantly? Was that difficult? There's always a girls' school around the corner anyway. There's always, you know, how they build schools. But what was that like being around boys at the time?
you know, at the time I didn't think much of it apart from the whole wanna be bad and ego thing. Everybody wanna try to go on like they're important, if you get what I'm saying. But you know, as I'm like an older age now and I look down at young boyish behaviour, I think to myself, well, that must have had an impact on me, because boys' behaviour when they're young is kind of mad still.
Give us some of that, because even me, who's raised a son into a man, you know, us mums like to feel like we've got all the tools, but you know, low key we don't. Yeah, we do our best.
Yeah.
So enlighten me, because there's things I'm learning now that I never knew before. Because boys don't talk like girls can or do choose to. So what when you say it's mad for boys at that age, like show me something,
I'm
teach me
saying for me,
something.
like, some of the teachers in my school were like pissed off a lot. And like when I look back at it, when I think at like just the testosterone level, the energy levels for boys, like I got a little man now in my house now, man. And when I look at him, I'm just thinking, fuck's sake, bro, calm down, man. I mean, like, he's all over the gap. And if you can climb the wall and climb the curtains, you would, man. You know what I'm saying?
But honest kind of also feedback. I'm sure you'll be able to identify that. But you see, our generation, I might be a little bit older than you. I don't know, can't remember. When we thought that children were just hyper, we didn't really identify as much as they do now, where you know every child's got some kind of special need.
But do you agree with that?
Yeah. Okay. This is where I'm going. This is why I went like this. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, in one breath, I'm glad that there are tools now to help parents understand further and potentially how to now navigate life with their child who does have some children. You can clearly see something ain't ticking right.
Yeah, some are different. Yeah.
I'll give you a quick example. I saw a video yesterday. There's a lot of comments in that box where a baby wanted something. Baby might have been about, I don't think, maybe even 2, if that. and the baby wanted something, and as it never got it, he chose to smash his head on the wall. Now, in the comments were like psychologists, whatever, saying that child was an early stage of psychopath. They went in on this baby, saying that's not normal for a baby to smash its head on the wall
Everybody
because it didn't
diagnosed
get
this
its
now,
own
innit?
way. Now, we would just say, what's wrong with that baby? In our time. Now, with everyone's books, it's now, they must be something wrong with him. He's a psychopath.
Yeah.
Seriously. We would have never said that.
No. Or we
Right?
say it's bad breed.
Okay, right. So sometimes, I mean, there are some children that are just, I don't know what you want to call it, but you're moving mad out here. Yeah, it's you can tell there's some dysfunction from young. But we also have to remember, guys, that us mothers, you remember the child feeds on a vibration. Right. So even though, you know, you play your part, dad, and we play our part, and the child has its own mechanics, you know, within my womb, whatever vibration I was experiencing at the time, that might be the result of why the child's the way the child is.
100%.
If I spent most of my pregnancy on the depressed, that may be a function the child suffers with now, and behaviors. It's just what it is.
That's deep. Yeah.
I ate a lot of ice cream from my pregnancy. My son came out freezing.
Right.
Oh, serious?
Yes. As soon as he came out, they were like, "You got to stop eating like this." Like, I was just living on ice cream.
Wow.
But he was AKA the ice baby when he came out. That's what they called him. You know. So if we think about it from the umbilical cord, I mean, I'm not no doctor, but let's get spiritual for a second. What is our babies vibing off? If not mostly me as the mum.
Yeah, it's true.
And then the child comes out the womb from its innocence of spiritual, just the energy of the womb and what's happening, and it comes out to the influence of TV, neighbors, parents, generational curses and blessings. It's a whole heap of different things the child comes out to.
Yeah,
so
facts, it's true.
Really, to find yourself in a world full of influences, including your own parents, and say I'm still individual, that takes something. You know that.
Definitely.
So I just thought I'd share that, you know. So let's go to the viewers for a moment. Viewers, is there any like subject that you feel that really would be helpful for the schools, even colleges, to implement? That you think would make a difference to the youth of this era, whether it's the females or whether it's the males? Feel free, and if you want to jump in and also participate, please feel free. Because I'm like, my character, what would have really have helped me? I think right now we have so much self-harming.
Yeah.
We think it's more women, but there's also a lot of boys that's doing it. Where we have so much, you know, influence on how we should look. I'm thinking, what do you call it? You know, body acceptance and that kind of self-love kind of thing. I think that would be really helpful.
Definitely. I agree with that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
You know, I think that, what do you guys think as men would be a personal development class though? And I need your help as well, viewers. What kind of subjects? Obviously, I feel like boys get left out a lot in a lot of stuff because we just focus so much on girls, and it's not fair. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can relate. Let's be honest, and we got to remember, as much as we leave boys out, they're the boys that's being neglected that our daughters are going to end up with.
Yeah, definitely.
So in fact, it's paramount that we don't do that.
Yeah.
You know. So I'm trying to think, like, which you guys can educate me, viewers educate me also. What things do you carry silently that we overlook, that I might have overlooked as a mother to a son? Like, what do I educate me? And I'm being sincere when I ask that question.
Yeah, I think a lot of boys experience a massive lack of lack of self-confidence at some stage. They don't know who they are. They've
Mm.
got a lot of other boys around them that they all
Equality.
still don't know who they are, but they're all acting like they know who they are, innit?
Mm.
You know what I mean? And then you're
Mm.
trying to, as a boy, you're constantly trying to fit in, and you're around your peers, and you're trying to pick ones to model yourself off of, and you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So that's where boys can be easily influenced by the wrong people, because they're always trying to model themselves off of somebody in the clique that they're hanging around with. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Who's the coolest? Who's the loudest? Who's, do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. You know, but a lot of boys secretly do go through that lack of confidence, especially in their teenage years. Like I'd say, like between, say, I don't know, say from 11 maybe to 14, 15, you know, even like when you start knowing that you're attracted to females and you don't know how to approach them because you don't know yourself, you get rejected. Like rejection is a big thing for boys, you know.
I know.
Massive. You know, when you go and you try and talk to your first girl and she knocks you back, especially if it's in a place like the bus
Mm.
stop in front of a couple of other your friends, and it knocks you back.
Mm.
That mashes up your confidence for a long time, you know.
Okay, 1 second,
Yeah,
V. I'm going to go back in the comments in a moment. I'm going to read all your great feedback because I can see. But carry on, carry on.
yeah,
We're going to make room in a moment to go into the comments. Yeah. So you're talking about then how boys process their emotions.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because
and how you
it's like
guys process rejection.
yeah, it's a form of rejection, isn't it? Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? A massive form of rejection.
Why
Yeah.
why
You can probably get
why do us females, I'm going to say females across the board. I'm not going to say girl or woman because it starts from, we must get it from somewhere. And obviously, it's the image of what we expect you guys are supposed to be like. Again, that influence of whether it's masculine, whatever.
yeah.
But why do we place so much aggressive importance, do you think, on that even a boy of 10, 11, 12, 16, we expect you to be like, oh, well, he's a boy. Like, no matter what age you are, you could be 7. We still have that expectation of you. So,
Yeah.
and I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, that's so sad. I'm one of those females.
Mm.
Because think about it. I mean, I get it if it's like now, but we've been doing this from school to you lot.
Yeah.
The expectation of what we think you should be able to deal with, because you come under the bracket of a male, and again, you don't really know yourself as such. And women, we're great pretenders as well as women, yeah. So sorry on behalf of the female them. Yeah. But so when you guys are experiencing this kind of what does it feel like? Does it feel like a sense of loss or loneliness, isolation? What does it feel like?
Or when you get brushed.
No, just like, yeah, just the whole thing of I don't know myself yet, or even boys discovering their genitals. Like, it's a whole list of things
Yeah.
of what boys go through, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that age, like, do you guys tend to have anyone to talk to? Would it be your,
You don't know.
if you're
You don't know. I don't think you know who to talk to.
right?
It's quite an embarrassing subject because remember, boys ain't supposed to be like the type that's supposed to be able to approach people with certain conversations, and I think you know that from a very young age.
Mm.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So a lot of times you
And
keep
but
that within.
who said, like, where did that come from?
I don't.
I think it's society, innit?
Yeah, it's a societal thing. I think you probably see it on. Maybe it could be like when you watch TV as a young person, you get the gist that you don't see a group of men talking about specific things, but you might see a group of women talking about it. If you know what I'm saying, or girls.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? But like
Mm.
they somehow it's like we know it, and it's embarrassing for boys to be able to go and talk to their friends that I don't know 10, 11 years old that you know you've had an erection or something like what am I supposed to do with it or the likelihood as well if you do go and talk to your friends about it. I'm not being funny, but I think a lot of boys will tell you some bullshit information, man, because they're dumb. A lot of boys are dumb, man.
Mm.
Well, okay. Do you see what you just said? Us girls know that. That's why we deal with you the way we do. But yeah, side note. Yeah,
Now, for real,
yeah. We
Yeah.
all. I mean, to this
at
day,
the
we're
age of
like,
stupid. I remember I remember going and asking information when I was younger to certain young boys that I know, boys that were my age, and they were just chatting shit, and I was thinking, this don't make no sense. So when I'm going to the older lot that I know, they're laughing at me like, when I'm saying, right, is it true that you sport? And they're laughing like, right, who told you that? You know what I mean?
And they probably
So,
don't know themselves, right?
Yeah,
So
because
you guys, so what you're
you're
saying
all
to
in the
me is,
pot. You're all in the pot, yeah. You're all asking each other questions. None of you lot really know at that age, but rather than say, "Rah, I don't know," you act like you know and you give rubbish information. That's
mm, mm.
the
So
boys' circle for me.
for those people then that didn't grow up with any male figure in their life, I personally was a single mom myself. You know, everyone knows that I had my son quite young, so I is free now. Yeah, yeah. I had him quite young. He's now 31. I'm a grandma, so I've been there, done that. Got a couple of t-shirts, you know. So it doesn't matter that I'm at this stage of life. I can still learn and teach on. So me asking you is me being a student right now.
Yeah.
yeah.
You're never too late. It's never too late to learn, and then you can help educate others. And even though my son's at a certain age, I can still improve on what you're telling me.
Mm. Yeah, definitely.
All now, do you know what I'm trying to say? So
Never too
you
late to
guys are
learn.
in the inbox as well. You're welcome to, you know. And if there's anyone that wants to jump on and implement, please feel free to come on the live. So all right. So for those young boys that don't have father figures or uncle figure or anyone like, can you share at all any feedback or advice for things that, you know, for the parts that you're talking about now? What would you advise a young person to do if they got, you know, thoughts and there's no one to talk to, or whether they've been, you know, interfered with at home or school sexually or anything? Like, what would be your feedback
You know, you
in
have
advice to them?
you have some organizations that you can reach out to, because you find that not everybody is comfortable talking to a family or a friend. So there are organizations that you can speak to, you know,
Mm-hmm.
just to get additional help and support. But
Mm-hmm.
some people,
What
like,
type of
even, so you
organizations,
got
and
like
where would they
the
find it?
online, you got like the Samaritans, you got, what else? There's a good few of them. I don't know them off the top of my head, but reason I say that is because obviously there was a young man I was speaking to, and he was suicidal, and
Oh my goodness.
yeah, and it was quite sad, because obviously, you know, this person had gone through a lot, and I think it was a lot of it was coming from the workplace. It was
Mm-hmm.
promised certain things, it didn't manifest, it didn't materialize, and it took a toll on him, and he's, you know, like, he's had sort of, you know, mental health issues since, and you know, I had to reach out and I said, look, you know, I did my part. I was, you know, showing him, you know, there's certain videos that you can watch, you know, try and go for a walk. There's certain interventions that you can do to, you know, like, counteract those thoughts, because it's nothing worse battling with those thoughts and you're indoors, because when you're indoors, it's a perfect time for you to think, overthink, and maybe carry out what's going on in your head. So I said to him, you know, go for a walk. If you ever feel overwhelmed or you feel those thoughts are coming back, go for a walk. Try and, you know, introduce activities into your life. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
what do you like
What's his
doing?
age group? What's his age? Sorry.
Mid-20s.
Mm.
Mid-20s.
Oh, well, can I have a bit of a recap? Give me a moment, fellas. So, for those who just joined, and also the person who asked the question, today we have Triggered Thoughts podcast that's joining me today, and we're discussing the first topic, which is what type of lessons do we feel could make a difference in schools in this generational climate that could make a difference to the young people? Because we can see where a lot of young people are right now, and again, there are many young people doing very well. So we're not kind of, whether they're doing well or not, this lessons, subjects that could make a difference. We've covered things like mindfulness, you know, well-being, you know, money management, and we just frame topics out there. And again, if there's anyone watching or you viewers know anyone who does work in the within the educational system, let me know. We can do a part 2 and bring them on. Or they can start giving us now real logistics of how we can go about this or how we can make a difference. you know. So that's been really, really helpful. So I'm gonna create some space now to go in the comments, if that's all right with you guys. In the meanwhile, do feel free to sip on your beverages and all them thing there. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, or light whatever you want to light up. I don't know what you do. Okay. Yeah. So let's have a little flick back. Thank you everyone who's participating and joining us. We appreciate ya. So let me scroll back. Let's see. Just gonna send some highs out. It's funny when you try to scroll back because it just sometimes doesn't let you go back. But I'm just gonna send some waves out to everyone. I know a few of you, yeah, and just sending some waves out. And guys, feel free to big up your people because it's like most of your people that say so. Fellas, feel free. Yeah. Yeah. UK to the Bronx. What you're saying? Yeah. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, Vibes, you love that particular question that we spoke about a little bit earlier. Let me see. Or shall I call you Mr. Peaceful, which will be your who you are when no one is watching. And Vibes again about reading minds. I'm just scrolling back. Let's see. So Lipsy goes back and says when we were asking the question about ability, what's the ability to speak all the languages in the world? You'd be dangerous. You have to work for the FB, you know what yeah.
That's a good one, man.
Yeah. Oh, hang on a minute. Let me see. Hang on a minute. So third side says learning how to think. Psycho-cybernetics. Oh, I haven't heard that word for a long time. That's a good one. Let me see. Yeah, hang on a minute. Oh, let's say hi to Queen Libby. Queen Libby, big up my friend Queen Libby, Queen Liberati, who's in New York. Yeah, we've got to arrange another talk amongst us. She is an amazing poet and host of her own.
Okay, cool.
Really, really, really good. All right, so we're just divine light and darkness to all. Okay, I love that. All right, I'm just going to send some more highs out. So on the topic of curriculum and schools, is there anything else that we feel that would make a reflective difference in this conversation, viewers or guest speakers, before we kind of head over to the next subject of the hour? What's your thoughts? Or maybe we can leave a message to some young person watching this, perhaps.
I would say critical thinking and problem solving. You know,
would that be a lesson?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, fostering analytical thinking, creativity, and the ability to solve complex problems. You know, because the thing is,
go on, my bad. Go ahead.
Now go on. Go on.
Now, I'm just gonna say, as we wrap up that particular part of the conversation, I wondered, you yourselves, you know, if you yourself could think of a lesson that would have definitely enhanced you as a soul, you know, as a person, what lessons do you think you needed? Me, I would definitely say mindfulness from young, because I can be a stress head. So no matter about all the glitzy or the other lessons, I think for me it would have been mindfulness, because that would have helped me to prevent a lot of other experiences, I think, and stresses that I, you know, encountered growing up as a young teenager, especially into adulthood, and how to process a bit more. Even with you're having a stressful time in class or whatever, you could also have that separate person in the school that you can actually sit with, or have a side lesson that will help you to express your, you know, your mind, where you're at, and be able to converse with someone that understands that. And also, I mean, now I call it the art of individualism, which is I started writing a course. Someone asked me to write a course. That never quite happened because of lockdown, but I started writing a course that and that was good. It was actually called the art of individualism, and what I went through stages from from birth till now. What happens to us through that process. And I think had I been more switched on then, and I had that support, I would have reached here earlier.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Makes
sense,
so yeah, I'm very individualistic, but sometimes some people never get there because of home pressure, parental pressure, society pressure. So I think those would be the courses that would have helped me the most.
In you saying that, and it's interesting you mentioned that, because now that you've just said that, what about emotional intelligence? Teaching students how to understand, manage their emotions, develop empathy, and build healthy relationships. All these sort of things I feel it's very important, because you have a lot of these younger generations, they kill themselves over a girlfriend, things don't work out. And I know one person through a friend that jumped in front of a train in Penge. So I mean, and to make it worse, the mum and the mum and sibling found out through a newspaper. Just imagine that. Yeah. And this was a young man that was taken advantage of by an older woman. Some people call it puppy love, but when he was in love with this woman, and this woman was taking certain taking gifts from this young man, and bearing him, and she was married as well. I found out she was married as well.
That happens a lot, bruv.
Uh-huh.
Happens a lot in society,
Yeah, I was thinking it happens a lot. We just don't. It's not heard of enough, but it happens. So sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's sad. And obviously the brother was saying to me that he turned around and said to the woman, because I think she wanted to break it off after exploiting them. He said, that's on your conscience. Like, do you have to live with that, knowing that he's done that? And once again, this goes back to young men and even older men opening up. My question is, was there not anyone that you could have reached out to before you took that drastic action? Does that mean? Like this,
often no, and I say that, and thank you for sharing that. I say that as we wrap up this particular part of the conversation. What I find, again, I always say this because it's true in my opinion and my prognosis, which is you can be in a crowded room, as they say, and still feel like it's just you.
Yeah.
So you will find, depending on your cultural dynamics or your household dynamics, you don't have no one to talk to. So you probably go to school like the most popular person, the funniest person in class, who's the saddest clown in the room when you're by yourself.
That's true.
So
yeah, it's true.
See, like sometimes you would think, I mean, I've heard of someone said to me, I think it was my mum actually, when one of my siblings' friends had passed away, OD'd, and the mum was like, why didn't tell me what's wrong with him? That's what I'm saying. What's wrong with him is now why he's gone. And maybe sometimes you give hints. Sometimes you hint to the type of parents, and they don't want to hear. I could be saying, I'm stressed. And if I've said it enough, check in.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a lot of warning signs that we don't pick up on because we're just
100%.
You see it as maybe you've got a good job, or maybe you look nice all the time, but that is not always the case inside.
Yeah.
Didn't Smokey Robinson write a song about that?
I'll have to look it up. What's it called?
Tears of a Clown, isn't it?
Okay. So I remember saying to like Verbs, I think it was yesterday, like, it's like the Marilyn Monroe thing, the pretty red pout, but you don't know what's behind that red lipstick. I mean, I know I'm wearing red, but I'm talking about Marilyn Monroe. Yeah. Yeah. So you don't always know what's behind somebody's, master's degree or behind that red pout. You don't always know. So people feel like, oh, because someone's popular, that most people are very lonely.
It's true.
Really true,
yeah. Free flow. I wanted to touch on something else which is important. Just two more things.
Please do.
We live in a digital age. Yeah. That's the future. AI, stuff like that. So I truly believe, digital literacy, helping students to navigate the digital world. Understand online safety and
Oh,
developing,
talk to
responsible
me.
digital
Talk to me.
habits.
Yes.
Yeah.
How could
That's
I?
good.
How could I have not thought about that? That's a
Good.
good one, Mr. Tech.
Big up.
You came through. Yeah, that's a good one. You know how much online bullying there
Yeah,
is, as well. So that's a
cyberbullying.
brilliant one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brilliant. Fabulous.
you know.
Wow. I
You,
mentioned that to you. I think it was V yesterday, and I was saying, you know, course and lessons on obviously bullying, and but would it make a difference if to you guys, if you saw youth being bullied, and they're taking classes that are how to combat bullying or identify, would that child still really tell? Would they still not get bullied? Can it make a difference? I'm
do you
hoping.
know what? I'll be honest, if they introduced, I feel subjects like this need to be brought into the education system for the simple fact that it's a daily plague, and a lot of the time it ends in the result of the child that's not as strong as other children committing suicide. There was someone
Mm,
that I know, a friend of a friend, came home and found their daughter hung. You know what I mean? So it's so to be quite honest with you, the most important things, which I feel is also very important, apart from obviously the other stuff we've mentioned on, is there needs to be lessons or courses for parents, not only parents but also students, to get them to understand things like grooming, bullying, these sort of things. Because if there's more awareness and this is something that's introduced into the school curriculum, then you might find that there's a strong possibility people are more likely to open up. Wherefore, when
yeah,
it's not really talking about, they don't know how to deal with it. But if the awareness is there, the knowledge and the understanding is there, and people can understand, what to look out for, the things to identify, then maybe things might be we might see a change in this generation. Does that make
that is
sense?
so fantastic. And I'm going to end this subject on this as well. I also mentioned this, if you remember, Verbs, that I think it would be helpful for mothers who would be raising sons singly, single mothers, to also endeavor to have some kind of courses run by men
Yeah,
who can make a difference, because that would be
yeah,
very helpful, even if it's an online course or something. I think I know that us women, we do the best we can do. We say we're mom and dad, but in other areas I'm not dad,
yeah,
and it's very absent, and it's very paramount that there's an
yeah,
absence. No matter what you,
yeah,
sometimes we overcompensate, and we can't overcompensate that side.
yeah.
But even
It's
though I know
true.
that it's not going to make, you can't appear a father or the greatest father role model as a stepdad all the time. I think if we had even the everyday guys like yourself, so it doesn't have to be from any particular class,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
whatever, I think it'd be very helpful to have some kind, whether it's, I don't know how it would be, but lessons, classes, talks, seminars, I don't know what you want to call it, on for women that could potentially implement areas of parenting that we haven't considered,
yeah.
because we're raising boys. So I think that would be really, really fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you reckon,
100%.
viewers? Could that be something? Maybe my next life, I'll do that course, and I would.
Yeah,
Who knows?
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into the next subject, which is, and thank you, viewers, for still being here with us, which is, why do many date down?
Break
I'm
it down
saying
so
it
they
that way. People
understand.
saying date down.
Break it down so they understand
Yeah,
a
say
bit
that
more.
All right.
again. Why do many people? Yeah, go on.
All right. So basically, it seems, and don't tell nobody I said this, okay? But it seems to me, word on the streets is that a lot of men, women too, but a lot of men, has actually committed to women that isn't even really their type on paper.
Whoa.
But she's safe. She's a good girl. She's a plain Jane, and she don't give no trouble, which is perfect. But then a lot of those same men, what they desire, they love her. But there's not often I'm in love with her. That's always absent when I talk to men. Right? No, hear me out, guys. Work with me, yeah? Now, now,
What
let
would
me
you?
let me spin it, and we're going to spin it back on the women as well. Because there's a lot of women that would have never have dated certain men if he wasn't a powerful man in name, or whether her biological clock was ticking. There's reasons why women also have settled.
Whoa.
People have often said Beyonce would have never dealt with Jay-Z. It has been said many times that Beyonce would have never married Jay-Z if he wasn't a powerful man in his own right, because the looks ain't mathing. Now, we know looks ain't everything. We know that. I'm putting it out there. It's been said many times. Yeah? So let's get into it. Everybody at home, be checking yourself now when you're, you know, And the reason why I also know this, I'm going to tell some secrets now. I've come up in passing in my life, I've spoken to a lot of different people, whether in passing, whether it's media, whatever. And I'm like, bro, you're talking to me, but that don't who you settle down, it looks, it's on the other side of the pond, my friend. What's going on? So I realized that a lot of guys will desire, whether it's the video looking girls. I understand that wife and desire is two different things, but a lot of men's girls are not the real type that they would want to be with. They're the plain Jane girls, safe. She's no threat to him. A lot of men like the babes on their arm, but it's a threat to you. It's too much trouble for the mind. You understand? So there's a whole heap of safe plain Jane girls right now that's got the most popping guys, but the reality is, like my mom would say, in my bright eyes is always roaming. Because she don't make your toes curl, you feel me?
Wow.
But there comes a time in every adult's life, I'm giving you all of this spillage so I can then pull it out of you guys, yeah? Comes a time in grown-up's life where you are aware, you know, men are saying, boy, I'm getting old now, I just want my peace. That's what I do. Newsflash, nobody can't be your peace. Peace comes from within. Stop all this media bollocks. I can't be your peace. If it's not inside of you, I can't give it to you, but I can enhance it. Yeah? So if you create heaven for me, I will create peace with you. You create hell, what do you think you're going to get with me? So fellas, I sit back and hear this one, talk to me. What's going on? Why you not be dating down?
Oh,
no, I just finished with an essay about 5 minutes ago, mate.
My God, someone said. But listen, the things that men tell me. And first of all, I've got like 5 brothers.
Yeah.
And plus, I've got a lot of, you know, male acquaintances, like the cousins and people in general tell me stuff that I could not repeat because it would be sick. Like, there'd be a lot of divorces out here in these streets.
Definitely.
Yeah. Let me tell you this now. So let's start with guys. Guys, why are your girls the total opposite of what you would have really, truly wanted on paper? Why?
Boy, not my girl, man. I'm gonna have to speak for themselves.
Oh, we love that. We love that. Well, you're lucky. You're the blessed one. We love that. Yeah. But the reality is, I often hear men say, "Oh, I love her as the mother of my child." I think you lot misunderstand the question. Are you in love with her? When you think of her, do you feel like does she set you afire? Do you feel that passion? Do you fancy her?
Yeah. That's what you see. One thing, me, I've never really been someone that. How can I put it? Yeah. This guy, you know. Yeah, I'm not really someone that will just go for just anyone. So that's never really been myself. Does that what I mean? Like, you know, my missus does everything for me. So does that what I mean? I don't feel like.
Wait.
Like you're pimping out here, blood.
Wait. I just heard the record scratch. My missus does everything for me. You got a good deal, haven't you?
Yeah.
He does everything for me.
I think
ladies, please take note. And that's why a lot of men would never leave you, because you do everything for him.
But no, I'll be honest with you, you know, in saying that, yeah, I'm not. I've never really been someone, to be honest with you, free flowing that would just how can I put it? Like there has to be. I've never really been one. Oh, you know what? There's a side piece. Yeah. That's never really been me. Although obviously in the past I've had a past, but even so, it's never been really. Yeah, it's never really been that.
This
You
is
know what I
where
mean?
you guys are so lucky that I can't see your eyes. No, no, uno. But I will allow you. Carry on.
Uh,
But speaking, but speaking on, from even people that I know, a lot of the time
Mm-hmm.
it's low self-esteem, you know?
Okay, so let's get into that. All jokes
Mm.
aside, right? So what we're saying is, we know that I'm not even talking about looks holding anything, because that's, looks will change, as we know.
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen, whether it's whatever it is, we know that we go and change as we grow older, right? But we don't always think about that. Again, we're going to touch on why there's so many people in the care home, more men than women, that's left abandoned by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
The player that played for too long. Yeah, we're going to go into that, right?
Mhm.
But what I'm saying is, I have noticed it's a lot of people that would never have chosen that particular partner. But obviously, let's talk about women. Those women whose biological clock is tick-tocking,
Mm.
right? Even amongst women, there's reasons why we will then be like, you know what? And someone said this, it's like convincing yourself to like someone because on paper, they seem like, he's a provider, he's, or maybe he's retired, or maybe he's got a good job. So on paper, he is an eligible person. Now, culturally, we already know that if you've got arranged marriages, this does not apply to you. We're talking about those of us who can select our own freely.
Mm.
Yeah. So for those people that would not have dated that man, it's usually based on his credentials, his status.
Mm.
Don't be misunderstood. Like, don't get this twisted. So this whole kind of media thing of, you know what, I wanted to ride me from the bottom. There's nothing wrong with that. But media keeps pushing this narrative that women are supposed to be cool with riding you from the bottom, but that's not what you want for your own daughters.
Mm. Yeah.
I'm going to make this very clear. The amount of men,
I don't have
the
daughters.
amount of men worldwide that have this again, established men, I don't really hear talking like this. I'm going to make this very clear to you, but you guys, viewers, please interject, correct me, whatever, jump on. I don't often hear established men speak of wanting a certain caliber of a woman, but I want her to ride with me with nothing. That is the woman, that's because that's where
Yeah.
you're at, and I get it. And you want someone to collaborate with. I get it, but you keep asking us to settle for
Yeah.
less. Something you would never advise for your own daughter or sister.
That's powerful.
I want to make this very
But now,
clear because I'm not under any illusion with nobody, never have been.
I actually would advise that for my daughter to some extent, though. Still.
Okay, well then you're one of those. You're one of those. My dad would never ask me to suppress my abilities for a man from the bottom. He would not ask that.
Nah, not
No
the bottom, but
traditional, not a traditional African father would ask you
yeah,
to do that.
yeah,
Mm.
So sometimes you may ask your daughter based on the life you've lived.
yeah,
Mm.
But the reality is, when you look at certain families, culturally, status-wise, they're not ever going to tell their daughter, he's a good man in his heart. He's got potential. In 20 years, he's going to be somebody. Settle with
mm,
him. So why do you keep asking? Why do you want us girls to? So that's what I mean as well. Sometimes we are pressured, not me, to settle. There's a lot of media coverage on women who don't. We're now rubbished because we don't want to settle with
yeah,
the bottom. So women are now like, I want a podcast. I don't mind what my man is like, as long as he loves me. Girl, come on.
mm,
If she had an option, would she choose the nothing? Let's be clear. If she had an option from the beginning, before she had feelings for you, a man that was established and a man that's not, who do you think she's choosing?
The one that's established, isn't it? 100%. You're not going to settle for less, are you?
Right. So why do you think at a certain time of a woman's life she then chooses to settle for less?
Because,
why do you think that is?
No, I got an answer for you in a nutshell.
Go on with
you
it.
were saying, right. So you were saying about the dating down thing. I was gonna say to you in response to that is, yes, many people will have standards, yeah, but that don't mean you can't cap your standards.
That don't mean you can't cap your standards.
You can't catch them. It don't mean you can attract them. You might have a standard, but it don't mean.
Hang on, wait. So that's something totally different. That's like me saying, from my work experience, people are looking for new employment or whatever. A doctor may still be looking at an agency for employment because he can't get the right company to hire him, but he works for an agency.
Yeah.
On his credentials, he's got bachelor's and degrees.
Yeah.
He might have to settle for an agency because he can't do better. Right. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Because he can't catch that right company. Yeah. But ideally, he would not want that, giving him a choice.
No, he wouldn't. Ideally, no.
You see what I'm saying? So sometimes people ask questions like, oh, if you're so this or that person so that, why don't they have this? You cannot, for those who believe and subscribe to manifestation, let's be 100% thing here. Not everyone can sit there, cross their legs and do this and things start happening.
That's what I mean. Exactly.
Yeah. But then there are people that would opt for celibacy rather than settle for less.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts, people? Now, the comments are real quiet here, so maybe there's some of the people in the inbox that's experiencing this. I get it.
So, like,
no, but I get it.
So, when I was, obviously talking about low self-esteem, some people feel that they deserve better or that they won't find someone who meets their standards. Right. Another thing is, the fear of being alone. Some people may settle for less to avoid loneliness or the fear of not finding a partner.
Yeah. That's what I call the.
How do we feel about that? How do we feel if that? Let's say that's one particular person, woman or man. How do you feel about that reality?
Feeling alone.
Would that be a good enough reason? Do you think for someone to say, you know what, child?
It's not good enough reason, but some people feel that they're desperate. Some people get desperate, so then
why you want to die alone?
But that's what I said.
Okay, so let's look at it like this, right? You said you want to die alone. Do you guys, anyone in the comments as well, and the viewers? I guess a lot of us come from the background where we believe no man is supposed. Was it no man's an island and so on, right? That we were made to collaborate, co-create, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so maybe we subscribe to that. So I think most, in my opinion, wouldn't want to die alone, even though, like my mum always says, you come on this world on your own, you're gone on your own. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
On the flip side, I think it's a beautiful thing to collaborate, to have union and to live life, to travel with your partner, whatever you want to do. I do think it's okay. See, I'm saying all this, but my real opinions are quite diverse as well. Yeah. So in one breath, if someone's going to make themselves unhappy, low key, and be like, I can't, then it's not worth. Women often, I'm not going to speak for all, we'll have our little checklist, and as time goes by, it gets like this. Because we realize that there's more of us women than men.
Yeah.
Some men are inside, some men are into men. Some men don't even like us, some men never like women again. That's how it is. I'm talking about they don't like us. They've got money issues and whatever else.
It also could be circumstantial though as well. Like you could want a woman could want a certain type of man when she's, I don't want to offend nobody, saying how it is. No. When she's younger, say in her 20s, she's got one child, and then in the next 10 years she's got 4. Like, chances is kind of gonna get a bit. Do you know what I'm saying?
Say that again, please. Pull up and rewind and come again.
A woman could say that they a certain high caliber of man, yeah, when they're in their 20s, yeah, and they've got one child, okay. Then time goes by and they end up with like 3 or 4. You get what I'm saying? Your chance, I'm not saying you can't get that man, but your chances is gonna be a little bit slim because most men don't really from what I know of, most men don't want women with that amount of kids.
Okay, so can I ask a valuable question? That's a very good point. Would that be 3 or 4 different fathers, perhaps, or would that be? Because I think sometimes this makes a difference to some men. Guys, correct me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if a man sees it as, you know what, you're taking this baby thing for a career, like you're just breathing every minute of some men will take that differently. But I also think that what I've observed, and correct me again if I'm wrong, fellas, that it depends on the ages of the children.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. They're older.
So if they want to,
yeah.
so they think they're going to come in to a nursery full of children and they're going to play stepdad. The man would have to really, really, really want you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if the children are big, that don't affect him anymore because he doesn't have to be there to help nurture, groom those children.
Yeah, definitely.
What's your
It's true.
thoughts? Is that somewhat correct? Okay,
No,
yeah.
I agree, definitely. But let's just say they are somewhat young where they're still in the house, or teenage years, some of them, and they're still in the house. Most men don't really want to be in that situation. And if we're talking about a woman that's had 4 kids with the same man, as opposed to a woman that's had 4 kids from different men, let me ask you a question now. Out of the women that you know or have come across, how many, percentage-wise, how many women have got 4 pickney with the same man? There more than the one.
I must make this clear. I've got to go on just only what I know, bearing in mind I don't know the world. But I think if I'm looking at the where we're at with our types, I think that it's more rare for the woman to say that I've got one baby father, one child's daddy with 4, 5, 6 children. Usually it's at least 3.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, usually there's at least 3.
Situation where you have to be realistic, innit? Whether if you're a woman, like, might not get that caliber because you're in that situation.
Can I throw a spanner for you guys? Yeah. You guys, you fellas, you magnificent men of this earth.
The hammer us now.
How do you know?
I can tell, man.
Oh, you know it's coming. Okay. No. You guys, you realize that the things that we accept from you guys don't accept, right, with us?
Like, what? Give me an example.
It's regular. It is a regular occurrence for women to meet men with a barrage of children's mothers.
Different.
Do you know why it's different? Do you know one of the reasons? I know what you're going to say, because we have the children. The children are home with us, so you're coming into that home, correct?
Not that I
Yeah? No. That's a good point.
Yeah.
But here's what we deal with is often baby mother drama.
Yeah.
We often deal with the fact that you've come to yet another home with a half a suitcase of problems from the other home. It's a regular pattern. It's a regular pattern that males do not clean up their room vibrationally before they start something new. So often, I'm helping you unpack a bag of houses from different barrels you come with.
Definitely.
So, although you're coming to help me nurture and groom and raise my children, I'm always dealing as a woman with your baggage. It's never ending.
But then
and half the time your baggage comes from home with your mummy that I'm still dealing with, my you.
That's true.
So you see me, I'm not bashing men, but I'm going to put it out there. So although I know that I'm a woman and I can't compare myself to you, I can't be you, I can't challenge you in certain ways. There's so much dysfunction that you guys don't take into account that we deal with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You come from mummy's breast to my breasts, and I got to deal with you.
My God.
Man.
Let's get into it. When we are nurturing our children, we let you guys go at a certain stage. You go from us to women, and then you go to another woman, and you go to another woman, and there's not always space gaps for those men who are popular and attractive and easy for you guys to attract women. Sometimes we're unlayering history with you guys. Now, we have our baggage.
Mm.
Some a lot of women have their daddy issues, or there's a lot of women that's been also
Yeah,
abused. So
because
you guys are also dealing with that
yeah, 'cause
side of it.
you lot are carrying different man's spirits when you lot are going all over the place as well, innit?
Yeah, don't try and give me clap back. I'm coming.
Nah,
Wait.
nah.
I'm coming. Yeah. You lot. I'm just saying, I'm going to try and be fair to us both. But what I'm looking at is, listen, from the minute we lock in, we're all carrying each other's spirit. Man, woman, child. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
So
It's true.
that's probably the one thing that we do the same. But I'm saying, you guys do not forgive the way a woman would keep forgiving.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So I know that us women has been nurtured to feel like we're the prize, but low key, are we really?
Yeah. Just,
But you lot are cut, you lot are cut different. You lot, like, you lot keep the family together, if you get what I'm saying. So, like, I think that's why I've got that sort of mentality, if you get what I'm saying, that sort of character where you will forgive because you got your end goal in sight. Like, you know what, rather than me mash up my house, told them the kids are without or whatever, I'm gonna just try and work at it. Whereas most men are walkers, isn't it?
And that's the thing. So when you get a woman that's used to being single for a long time, she will walk in 5 minutes. You can't hold a woman like that.
Mm.
Do you understand? I think there's a lot of factors that matter for why we make these decisions. You know, like some people may struggle with abandonment. So you've always had that, so you're not going to keep leaving. Some people don't know how to be by themselves, so they will go straight from one person to another. There's so many reasons. I'm not knocking any of those reasons, but what we're looking at is why we date the people we do. And then now we're looking at our differences, like you said, Vers, which is, you know what, a man ain't gonna want a woman with so much children. That's the thing, you know, you guys are quite prudish, but the things that we brought up with you, you know, it's, I mean, you lot, I feel like you lot should give us some grace as women.
100%, but you know, like when I'm saying those things, I'm not saying it like it's necessarily me. I'm just saying when I speak to a whole load of men, because I know a lot, that's what I hear from people. So I'm just saying to women, like I say to my friends, look, this is how men think. You hear me?
And I want you to tell this is what this is about. This is exactly what it's about. This is not me. Like, I'm not defending one particular gender, but I've got to say things that's also reflective to me that often, again, cultural differences make it very clear. Let's talk about the Western. Remember, Western move very different to traditionals. Yeah, and Western, you know, in some cultures you can't leave because you might come out missing.
it's true.
When they say forever, they mean ever, and we're both gone.
Yeah.
So Western wise, we kind of marry and divorce within 60 seconds. We don't take, you know, yeah. So I'm saying within that Western perspective, where we again choose partners for whatever reasons, you know, and often there are a lot of men that ain't gonna leave that girl because, you know, that's his second mum. That's the usual case.
Yeah.
But whilst a woman can do everything but cut your toenails, that don't stop men from going out the door.
Yeah.
I saw a video the other day of men saying, this is like a marriage podcast as well. It's really, really good. And just because you're not married doesn't mean you can't learn from those who are. Yeah. And the guys were saying that women seem to think the more they do and the more they're present is the more the man's going to be a certain way. And the men were saying often it's not what you do, it's how we feel about you that makes the difference. And the man was saying, it doesn't matter what you do. If I'm gonna go and sleep with somebody else, I'm still gonna do it.
100%.
So you're gonna get women that's gonna come out here again on all these podcasts and say, I cook, I clean, and we're professing this so much now that we want to be seen as the golden woman, and I do this, and my man, and I bring him peace. It doesn't mean he's not gonna leave your ass or still be trying to chat Silver on the low.
Yeah. Don't mean.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us women will tell you about our DMs that we get on the regular.
It's true.
And people have me as some agony aunt. And half the time, the women don't even know that I've sent him back home to you, my girl. Because I felt like it. You feel me? Yeah?
Yeah.
Because if I was a different type of woman, maybe I wouldn't have sent him home. I'd have been like, listen, we can link. But what I asked, because obviously I do media, so I want to know, like, why are you here? Like, because you seem like someone I can talk to. But is there a reason why you can't talk to your partner? Yes, she's a good girl, man. She cooks, looks after the kids. I'm always hearing the things that she does as like a mummy. But you're still here.
That's him trying to tingle, isn't he? Trying to be slick.
The thing is, I don't even take it personally. Some people be like, oh, well, why did he choose you? You must be. I'm not subscribing to none of that shit. I take no responsibility for somebody else's actions. What I do is what counts. So what I'm looking at is, if there's so much treachery and betrayal and cheating, is it the fact that no matter who you've got, you can have the perfect person and you would still want to do that?
Some men they just do it that way.
Not just men, women too.
Yeah,
Like, because a lot of women are catching up to you guys now, right? In the cheating game as well.
Some men are just do it like that. No matter what, they will continue doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like they just can't commit. They ain't got no self-discipline. They're addicted to chase. You know what I mean?
So what about, so do you think, right, so let's look at the men and women, and guys, help me out here. You know, where women are kind of, you know, I guess we're coached to be more sacred and be more, you know, ladylike and not behave a certain way. Because obviously, if a woman throws herself about, we don't know who the dad is. But if you throw yourself about, you always know who the mum is. Yeah, men are different. We're not the same, right? We know that.
Nowadays, women, yeah.
Okay. But what I would like to know is, equally now, if, like we're saying, let's say we say, actually, not me, I chose someone who I actually think I really want, I fancy the pants of this person, and they're right for me.
Yeah,
they are right for me in this season, because remember, you can't speak of the season of tomorrow. They're right for you in this season. Because as people progress and regress, people go like this, because the seasons now are not collaborating with each other and how you grow. So in this season, when people meet people and they're like, yeah, that's the right person for me, what makes them now step out if they've got exactly who they want?
Conquest, the ability to want to have a new experience, innit? Like that lack of self-discipline just kicks in when it's ready.
Right.
You know what I mean? When things become a bit too routine or whatever, or they're used to that person, they step out. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay.
You can have the most. You could be a man and you can have the most beautiful woman ever. You know, yeah. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna say something that's gonna sound a bit mad, but here where I'm coming from.
It. We want to hear it.
I would liken it to like if you first get yourself the car of your dreams. You take and you park that outside your house.
Yeah.
On the drive. You're gonna come out every day and you're gonna think of a reason to jump in that car and drive somewhere. You know. Yeah. After a while, when you get used to seeing that car, your eyes adapt, and then you might start walking. You might just start walking. And I think for a lot of men that don't have self-discipline, they lose interest like they do with the car. Your woman could be beautiful, but it's very easy if you're not disciplined enough to stop seeing how beautiful your woman is. But somebody else outside can see how beautiful your woman is.
That's a brilliant example. I used to have a colleague and she said to me, have you noticed there's always a man willing to give you his shoulder until he gets you?
You see?
So there'll always be a man saying, I don't know why your man treats you this way. If he was with me, women always are going to have this. Yeah, remember, you guys are meant to be the so-called pursuers, right? So women are going to get more attention than men by far.
Yeah.
In that way, right? So that's a good example you just gave. In which case, do you not think that a woman gets bored of your ass?
Probably does.
We probably get bored of your ass more than you. Remember, let me make this clear. I'm a Christmas tree, and I can dress myself up and make a difference. You lot are the same every day. We're looking at the same thing every day, right?
I'm not cheating, so I'm just saying, like, but for the other guys, then yeah, probably so.
Okay, but let's look at this real quick. Yeah. Men have their roles, women have their roles. Whatever those roles are that we choose to navigate and discuss, and what that criteria is individually for each couple.
Yeah.
We would have noticed that men has their own little demand. Those men who like women to self-nurture. I mean, sorry, self-care. Sorry, right? So a man's gonna like a woman to, you know, be sure that her hair's nice, her nails, her feet, and maintain the home and basic stuff that make him feel like, yeah. That same man will feel no way rolling around with a holy sock, a hole in his vest, and you know, wash that dressing gown. I don't want to see that because that will put me off.
But we can say that.
So why do you
We
feel
can say that about
like
the woman with the tear up night dress and them thing
no,
there as well.
no, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there with the headscarf girls and the sliders. We understand. You don't want to see that every day either. Yeah,
Yeah.
we get that. But I would like you to know that women like me, not every woman. I like a man who's into self-care. So as much as I like to turn up, and I make sure you're not ever going to see me as my guy constantly in a headscarf and a leggings every day. There's no way.
Yeah.
But you will maybe twice a week. You can see me on you know, relaxed. The others, you're always going to see me turn up in the house, out the house, because I got to keep things spicy. You feel me?
Yeah.
I don't even visit the bedroom too tough when I got my man. We can't just speak. We're not into the bedroom thing every night. We keep the thing spicy. You feel me?
Okay.
At all times.
Adventurer.
At all times, whether that means booking an apartment regularly, whether that is familiarity does get a bit boring. But I'm saying I also like a man who likes to be groomed, who's self-groomed, who likes to take care of himself. You know, like I don't want to see you in washed out clothes, in holy clothes. I want to see you looking good too. Maintain your foot same way.
Yeah.
Make sure you're okay. Let me skip the basics. Decent house shoes, as you want to call it. Decent house slippers, decent dressing gown, and nice underwear. That's what I'm asking on the basics.
What about the crusty heel back?
Don't come to my bed if you're rough heel back. When I want to scrape off my satin sheets, you're mad.
Man.
No, because the pressure can't just be on women. It's hard work sometimes, and it's one way.
No.
So I want to fancy my guy the way he wants to fancy me.
Fair enough. If that's your standards, that's cool.
Well, no, but it should be both of our standards. It's not one way. You not can't like. I don't understand this one way attraction.
No, if you like a man like that and he's gonna be with you, he should know he has to live up to that expectation.
Somebody's coming in. Somebody's coming in. Who's gate crashing? Who's gate crashing? Let's get it together. Let's boogie. Feels like a Friday. I'm so hyped.
Isn't it?
Hi.
God, divine.
Hey, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Divine Lady 23.
Oh, blessings. Namaste. Welcome. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
She's been in the Triggered Thoughts team, you know.
Is this one of your peeps, guys? Yeah.
This is
welcome. Sister, let me sit back now. Take the wheel. Go on with it.
So, first off, I want to say that I totally agree with you. It is a two-way thing.
All right. Talk to me nice. Let's go.
I feel like a lot of people have this lackluster attitude in relationships, and that's why it don't work. For me, I think you do have to keep the momentum going. Don't start something that you can't continue, because the cracks will start to show. And I think communication has to be at the top of the list.
Absolutely.
If you've got all these hidden traumas or things that you don't really accept about yourself and you don't want to share, and you can't be like transparent and vulnerable, I don't know why you're even in a relationship. Literally.
And we realize that a lot of people are, because, you know, as humans, we feel like we can't be alone. Like someone's going to have us. So we don't feel the need. We upgrade our phones, our cars. We don't necessarily upgrade ourselves.
That's right. That's right. When you go out in society. Yeah. I speak to people all the time in society, just random people. And sometimes I'm so perplexed, because I'm like, a lot of people don't even realize that they actually have such a poor mind state. I don't care what you own materialistic wise, but your mind state is so poor and you don't even realize it. And I'm just like, I hope this is my last trip down here because it's a bit ghetto.
You know, it's funny you
Literally.
should say that, you know,
Yeah.
because I have been, and guys, listen to this, right? As we know that everyone deserves love, man. You know, every decent soul deserves love. And we talk a lot about, you know, communication, which you just said, you know, let me put the word effective before that, effective communication and comprehension, you know, because
Yeah.
you can speak and speak, but someone's not trying to hear you or understand, you know. But you
Yeah.
know, one thing that I've really been reflecting on lately a lot, which is emotional IQ.
Right.
Same.
That one right
Yeah.
there, emotional availability. A lot of us are single but not available. Yeah. Not being emotional available. Many people are in relationships and they're not emotionally available for each other, but they in the long-term relationship. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got the emotional low IQ. Forget about academics, but apply that to emotional low or high IQ.
Mm-hmm.
And that's often a problem. It's beautiful if we get it right.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
100%. Yeah.
So what's your thoughts from the beginning of this? We kind of started off by talking about, you know, people that intentionally kind of date down. And let me throw in there, I've been told, and I have heard it multiple times culturally as well, that someone's grandma or someone's granddad said, always date a man who loves you more than you love him.
Yeah.
I've heard that a lot, and I'm like, how do you do that? But then I understand the logic. I've seen why elders have said, make sure the man love you more than you love him.
Yeah. But then there still has to be an element of healthiness to that because, yeah, sometimes if the man loves you a bit too much, you might not be able to get rid of him when you want to.
Someone's trying to get
You
in.
know, especially if he ain't healthy, if it's done in an unhealthy manner.
Sorry, sister,
I
one
don't know.
second. Whoever's trying to get in, give us a moment. Please hang with us, and hopefully we can let one person disappear and come, and you can come in. Someone's trying to get in. Yeah, verbs, not verbs. G, if you've disappeared, G, does Genius want 10 minutes, and we can bring someone else. I'll Genius is back. Okay, it's all right. Man went to make a whole 4-course meal, you know, and come back. Yeah. So you were saying, sister, and you were saying, like, you know, if you feel a man that loves on you too much, he might just body you and the times get a bit like, you know, or ducky you, should I say.
Because there's some men that and women that don't take no for an answer, even when
That's
you've
usually good as
explained
well.
that you don't want to be with them because the dynamics of the relationship overall isn't healthy. There'll be some people who still won't see that. They want what they want.
Have you
Do you know what I mean?
have you experienced that?
No, thank God, because Duppy knows who to frighten. But I don't know.
I actually think when it comes to men, they're not going to be frightened.
No,
I
they're not. When they
think
want something, they want
that's
it.
what I'm saying. I don't think it's got anything to do with Duppy. If a man, listen, in this, we see what's going on. Every time I put on media, some woman's being Duppied by some man. Yeah, on a regular. I mean, the fatal attraction women doesn't compare now. That's kind of dated now. Women, my mum always says to me, "Don't tell a man you're leaving him in his presence. Take time and pull your head out the lion's mouth." And I used to be like, "But why, mum? I'm into communication." And you know, she's like, all right, yeah. And she's told me the other day about a story about an acquaintance of hers who said to her partner, you know, I'd like to end it. And she went to bed. He was pacing up and down, and his head took him. We're in the bathroom, broke down the shower curtain, and beat her ass, and she had to run out the house in the middle of the night in her night clothes. This is a regular story of women who. There's a whole other conversation in itself, but yeah.
I know some stories myself, so yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, definitely.
You can hear his crunching.
Genius, how do you come and hear your poor man not offer anybody no food? Like, we got that there.
Yeah.
What is that?
Cyber sharing.
Thank
you. That's all right. He's been doing his fast. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Sistering, what have you been here from the beginning of our dialogue? Have you just joined us?
No, I've just joined because I was on
you
a
didn't get to hear
meeting.
our first subject. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, feel free to add any further points, or you might want to take this conversation in another direction. It's totally up to you. You know, we welcome you.
Don't tell me you got pharmacy.
So you're talking about the dynamics of relationships between men and women, and overall how some of it can be quite unhealthy, right?
No, well, initially we can take it where you want, but initially, this part, I mean, the initial topic for this, we've done the first topic, it's our second topic, was like, you know, why do people date down? Why do people settle? The pros and the cons of settling. Now, I'm not actually saying that it's good or bad. I've thrown so many statements out, but I've not actually really said whether I think it's good or bad. I think there's pros and cons to everything. I think, honestly, if we didn't eat with our eyes and we didn't feed the flesh, there'd be more long-lasting, more what's the word? More fruitful relationships. So I think maybe if we went by paper anyway, what was good for us, that would probably be the right way, as opposed to I fancy him and the flesh has to be satisfied. And so there's pros and cons. I'm not saying it's bad or it's good.
Yeah.
But what I'm looking at is if we do it like that, there's a lot of secret dissatisfaction where people now want to be even flirting. They need to stimulate because who's at home is not really who they would have chosen, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think it starts with one being honest with their self, and I think a lot of people are not honest with their self, really. I think a lot of people don't even know what they really like. I think a lot of people don't even know their self enough to know their own flaws because they're so busy putting out everyone else's that they don't even realize that they're not in the mind frame to be in a relationship. They just want what they want, like you said, because they are led by their flesh. They're also led by ego and greed, and society normalizes it, right? Just bed hop. It doesn't matter. Sleep with person to person. Don't worry about the spiritual ramifications or even the physical ramifications.
Not everybody's spiritual. I mean, we're all born of spirit, but we're not all activated.
Yeah.
So that's great that you said that. But when you think of those who don't subscribe to that, or those who don't even know or understand anything about that, what would be, I guess it's down to their own personal morality, right? And on the flip side, where people bed hop, remember, fellas, women can lay there, take you know what, and think of England. But Napa Uno from your 30s is done out here. Back mash up and gone, spring gone in the back.
I don't know about that.
Well, you wouldn't know because we don't sleep with men.
Yeah.
Allow it, man.
But it's true though. It's true.
Part of the things
it's so true. And a lot of women don't realise that.
Let me just make this statement, and maybe Sister can actually help me out here, or even enlighten me. There are a lot of women that has compromised to the point where they probably have never had an orgasm for you ever, and maybe you don't even know that. If I was now to go and do, I kid you not, the amount of scientific this or conversations this or there's so many women that has said they obviously tap into other areas of their loved one, but they have never climaxed or very rarely do. And the men's always asking, "Did you come, bruv? Did you not know that anymore?" That's the question.
Who asked that? Which man asked that?
Yeah.
Question.
Am I lying, sister?
What did Rob say?
Did you come?
What are you talking about? That ain't never happened to me because I'm gonna tell your ass you're rusty, dusty, and you need to fix up. I can't lie. I'm not that type of chick. But I know people would have to.
You don't need to ask that question.
No, but hang on a minute. Remember, men are quite obvious. It's very obvious when a man ejaculates. It's not the same for a woman. I can be. It's very clear.
I can tell
that you men.
I can tell.
Let me make this very clear to you. Yeah. Okay. All right. Make this very clear to you. I kid you not. It doesn't even matter on race. Genius. You know I can hear bare feedback from your mouth.
No way. Alright, you know what? Alright, hold on.
Bit of crunching and thing in the background, you know.
Sorry, man. Hold on.
Like I'm at the farm at lunchtime, blood. The horses.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
It's lunchtime for real.
The horses clap back the sugar.
Oh my days. Hold on.
I'm apologetic right now on this live.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Oh my
I'm
days.
troublesome, you know. I'm very playful. Don't mind me. But what
I love
I'd
it.
like you to know, and Sisterine could also balance up the thing. I'm glad he's here as well, fellas. This is not even me. I'd like to share this with you, right? There are a lot of women, and for those who are contained and are disciplined, they know how to manage themselves. Yeah, they could be in beautiful relationships. I'm just gonna let's keep it positive for this moment. And I can tell you now, when they're discussing, generalizing, a barrage of women don't climax on the regular with their partner.
Yeah, I agree.
And hang on, wait. And sometimes women choose to be courteous because we understand a man's ego is very sensitive. And then you don't want to call it emasculating men. Let me make this very clear. A lot of women will not, but they will finish themselves off a little later when maybe you're asleep.
I hear that.
Yeah?
Gunshot.
Let me make this very, that's why I love man up and yam it. Man, that's man up and yam it because everything else is really operating. You know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, upset verb now. Look at
You're
a
looking
verb.
for Friday. Friday I turn up even more, yeah? I'm just saying to you that I
Look at
chose to go,
verb.
no, listen. The first time I went celibate was, the first time I tried it was 2 years. And the first time, and that was because I was so put off by the poor performances.
Wow.
And what made it worse, if you can dialogue with the person, say, listen, honey, this is how this makes me feel. And if I can dialogue, you can work with it, you can work together. I remember at the time, the person I was seeing back then, I was like, you know something, honey, I'm not feeling satisfied. Can we discuss this? Can we watch this? Can we re-educate? He didn't really want to hear because remember, it's ego. His ego meant more to him than hearing the fact that I'm still here with you. I'm not going anywhere. But can we upgrade? You upgrade your phone. You've upgraded your car. Let's upgrade the sex now.
I thought you were going to say upgrade something else.
Yeah. Let's watch some Kama Sutra, some Tantra. Let's do something. Watch therapist. Let's learn. Let's keep re-educating. Relearn my body. 5 years later, just keep relearning the body.
Verbi, come on. What are you saying?
I'm saying, bro, like, I know a real thing, bro. I don't do no fake thing. I know a real thing, bro. I'm not saying never.
This is where maybe you should listen. Because what I'm saying to you is,
I hear all of this. I know all this you're saying about like
okay.
Food only. I can't remember. I think it's like
Okay, so if you know all of this, let me ask you a question. If you know all of this, that tell me say you as a master, you're having a student again. You're a teacher. Yeah. So let me ask you all of this now. What would you suggest that one does when the bedroom gets still? What would you suggest? Or how do you with me?
Revival.
Right, revival. But here's what I'm saying. If you got couples that don't even know, so the man that might be saying, oh, I would know, they're the ones that don't know. There's programs on this. I'm trying to tell, there is being documentaries on this.
Yeah, I agree with
so we
you.
say all these women are making it up, yeah?
I agree.
And these are the men that said, I've never known that. I've been married to you for 10 years. A lot of men are stunned because the women has been pandering to being not trying to offend you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, her sexual libido has now gone numb because she's not going to leave you for it. But at the same time, protecting your ego and your manhood meant more to her, but she's not satisfied. So you find a lot more women are masturbating low key because of this.
Yeah.
Can I ask something then is it if that partner can't express how she's feeling, what sort of relationship is that?
Okay, but let's not blame the whole relationship for who she is.
Exactly.
No. Hang on a minute.
I'm genius, my brother.
The reason why
all right.
I said that's a good point, though, is because
what do you say?
But genius, let me ask you a question. Let me answer you then, right? I feel one must get to a stage, which I have done a long time ago. I don't take on the journey of two people because before you met me, you had a whole life. I would vocalize. If I go quiet, it's because you can't process my truth.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of cues that men would have received from many levels of women. Okay. And some women are not going to keep trying to get with a new man because he's nothing really happened in the bedroom. If the woman's very sexual and she's open with that, that would be an issue. I personally would not save a man that couldn't take me into my spirit realm sexually. I'm unapologetic with that. I don't care how much I love you. That has to be there for me, because transcending sexually, spiritually is the next level.
Yeah.
If you are just someone who just loves sex, and it's different. If you are deep within that and you know thyself intimately, you're going to take that as a form of art. Do you understand? So that's how I am. So I couldn't live with that. So I went celibate for 2 years because I was so frustrated that then I done 4 years and I didn't let anyone touch me. How that came about is because I was so frustrated with the poor sexmanships. If that's even a word. Yeah. So as communicative as I was, I realized that our people come from a lot of homes that is not very communicative.
Yeah, that's true.
The Caribbean, the African, the Asian, we never really groomed to be very communicative from our parentage. And boys were always told just to keep quiet and be a man.
Yeah, it's true.
So these are the men that we're meeting, sistering, and that's the problem. So
see, I've had the opposite experience.
Tell me about
where the sex is good, but you ain't really got anything else to offer. So where do we go from here? Because
have you ever been open to just a sexual relationship? Be honest, because we've all lived in our own.
When I was younger, but at this big age of being 42 soon, nah, I don't have time for that. Literally, I'm not trying to show my children that.
In that area, you had great
I will
intimacy,
keep my cookie jar very locked. I'm bougie with that. I'm sorry, if you get to even sniff my neck, you're lucky, because I don't do the bed hopping thing. I'm sorry, and I don't apologize for it, because I just feel like it's all too common. Like, everyone sleeps with everyone.
Yeah.
I can't lie. I don't want to do that. And I don't want to show my children that. I have 3 daughters, and I don't want to teach them that it's normal to be low-hanging fruit, because for me, we are queens out here. So you can't really have access to us like that, because we are learning ourselves. No matter what background I've come from, I'm not trying to operate in my trauma. So if you only can mesh bread, but you don't really know how to connect on an intimate level, you will struggle with me, because it's just not going to work. And that's
let me ask you a question, because there are a lot of women that are. I mean, are you technically celibate then? Are we saying?
Yeah, I am. Not even technically, I am. And in the last 10 years, I've only slept with 1 man. And I know some people look at me and probably surprised.
Which is very. Can you share, because that's a topic that I want to do at some point, for people that has been celibate, men or women, and men that also practice semen retention. I want to have a talk about that for those of you who know about it. Yeah. So can you share it all, some pros and cons, if any, to being celibate, and honestly, because I think that's a really, because I've done it, I do it, and I've done it. There's a lot of empowerment with that journey when you're on it.
I've got more pros than I have cons, to be honest.
Good.
Like, and I think because I'm not a person who's led by what everyone else is led by. I already have established long time ago that I'm the oddball, I'm different, and I'm okay with being different. So I don't overly lust for sex when I'm not in a relationship. It sounds very weird. Whereas when I'm in one and I'm into you and it's at a healthy place, there's no limit.
You got
strange, but when I'm on my own, I don't really lust for it, because, like I said, I need the intimacy bit with it. And a lot of people are
why do you say that's weird? Why did you say that may be weird? Why do you feel like it may be weird to viewers, or why is that?
Because I observe people around me, and I know for a lot of people, and I also think that it is normal for us to want to mate. And I see a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm horny," but to be honest, I don't overly get those moments.
So let me drop a couple of seeds why I asked that, right? It's not weird at all. We have to understand, and salute to you, sister, as well, yeah? We have to understand that there's a lot that we see that we don't know with people. I can be around for 20 years and I don't know what I don't know. And what I mean by that is
Yeah.
there are many unsexual people that would say we're queens, and that's because of your traumas. So you don't really feel like that. I want to make this very clear to people, right? So on paper, it's great. But a lot of women that I've come across that are not very sexual until they're in something that they trust, it's because they've had childhood sexual traumas.
And I did. That
Okay,
was
I'm
my
not saying that's
childhood.
you, but I'm very astute to that. On the flip
Yeah,
side,
100%.
yeah,
That was my experience.
sometimes we do say things like, "Oh, you know what? I've only had one man in my whole life." I've got a friend that I think she's like, God, heading towards 50. She's got 2 partners in her whole life, and the way she said it, which was great, but I can see in other areas because you were troubled as a child, and that's why it's not because you just happen to be a queen.
Yeah, of course. That's
Yeah.
definitely a
So
massive impact on my
have
life.
us behave a certain way. It's good,
Yeah,
but there's still reasons for that. And then you have people that are promiscuous, and that's also because they have been interfered with, and they don't even like sex, but it's because of what they're used to.
Yeah. And I understand those people too, because hey,
Yeah.
we all live in glass houses, and I feel like
Right.
we all have ways in which we like illuminate our trauma in some kind of way, whether we are aware of it or the people around us are aware of it.
Yeah.
None of us are perfect, so
No.
I understand it from both sides of the
There you go.
coin.
But I throw that in because I don't think we think about that. But I salute you in all your glory, and I can see that you know. Why I'm saying that as well is because I can see that you processed whatever journey you've been in. That's important, is the process. But let's bring in the man then, because they've gone quiet, yeah? Is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, I want to finish it. 3 points. Going back to obviously what you're touching on in terms of why people settle for less. Another thing I would say as well is convenience. When I say convenience, like, it may be easier to date someone who is readily available, even if they don't meet one's standards. Yeah.
Does that make you happy?
Huh?
Does that make you happy?
No, but I'm just saying. Does that mean some people? It's and I know people. Does that mean friends? Tell me. Like, they just some people are just fed up of. Does that mean it's like, you know what? It's just more easier. You have people that they're going. What is it? Fish? What's that fish place? Fish dating.
Don't go on like you don't know the name. You know the name.
Plenty of fish.
Plenty of fish. Say it in your chest.
Plenty.
Listen,
of fish.
my days was blackjack
Don't
back
mind me.
in the
I'm
days.
just saying.
Yeah, funny. The next thing.
I can tell you all the apps. They're so widely advertised as well. People, we know it.
Yeah.
You're funny, The next thing as well is ignoring red flags. You have some individuals, they may overlook warning signs or negative aspects of a partner's personality due to strong emotional connection or infatuation.
Attachment. You know that's perfect. I'm glad you shared that, because I was, the fact that, and when none of us are, perfect to this, as this was saying, but do you know what's interesting, guys? How we often can feel like we've got a connection to someone, but it's an attachment. So nothing wrong with attachment and connection, cool. But there's this mantra that I've been hearing, which is open to everything, attached to nothing, and I love that.
I like that. Yeah.
I'm trying to coach myself to be more like water and sand, more adaptable.
Yeah.
So, but that's something we often say, we've got this connect. I don't know if it is. It might be attachment.
Yeah.
And that trauma bonding thing that we hear about a lot, Yeah,
it's true. And my last point is social pressure. Friends or family that may influence someone to date a person who doesn't meet their standards just to maintain.
How would that be? Culture, marriage, having children. What would that be for you? What do you think?
Boy, it's pressure, isn't it? A lot of people just want to, meet the social status. So I mean, I think what it is, a lot of people, especially for people that have been, some people that have been, single for a long time, and then they know that their friends are seeing, their friends are in a long-term relationship, or their friends are seeing someone and they've been single for a long time. They feel some type of way, and they feel that, you know what, let me just, and this, once again, this is where the problem comes. They settle for anything. Does that mean just so that they can fit in and be a part of that crowd? Does that mean?
Have you seen that happen? And have they been happy or
No,
dissatisfied?
I've seen that. There's loads of my friends, that some haven't dated for a while. Some, others is like issues where bad breakups. But yeah, a lot of the time it's like where they've been out of the dating world for a long time. It's kind of like, does that mean? It's like, you know what, something is better than nothing, and sadly that's the state of a lot of people's mindset. Something is better than nothing, because if you've got nothing, then does that mean at least something's there? Does that mean, like what you said, it's not their normal standard, but they just, does that mean they settle for something? Does that mean? So once again, it's
sorry, my bad for interjecting. I was going to say, do you know one thing that I think cannot be helped to a degree unless someone wants to be single for the rest of their life, which is you definitely haven't gone out your way to be single or to settle, but who you want is not within your reach. Now, some have said to multiple people I know who I've spoke to about this, oh, they just want too much. It sounds very basic. It sounds very basic what they want, but what it is, in this climate of people, you're asking for blood out of a stone. But off the cuff, put yourself in a different status environment. It's normal to want these basic stuff. Whether that's a man who's retired at 40, whether that's a man who has only 2 children, whether that's a man who's never been married, it's going to be rare. So sometimes, one will settle because who you want has never appeared in 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And at some point, unless you marry yourself, and say, this is it for the rest of my life, one may come to a point and say, you know what, where I live, I'm not attracting the caliber or vibrational match. It's not going to happen. They're not going to, they start going through would you call it a dating diary and marry a bride in Thailand or whatever it is. But so the reality is, I think in those cases, it's a hard pill to swallow, but I think in those cases, I can definitely support and understand that. Because if you are looking for somebody, you're open for a particular type of person and they've never come, what are you going to do?
It's true.
And now you're hitting 40, you're hitting 50. At what point before Zimmer frame come are you going to say, I deserve love?
For real.
The desperation zone.
But that's what I'm saying. In one way, I think that let's look a bit closer. Some people, yes, can be desperate, especially those who want to have children. And, on the first date, they're like, when do you want to have children? It's a level of, that's, So the man's middle name when I have children with him because the clock's ticking. Yeah, that's something totally different. But I'm talking about for those people that are not desperate. They've ridden 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years on their own. There's nothing desperate about that. So when they've consciously decided on someone, they've said to themselves, you know what? This is not at all what I wanted, but what I wanted has never come. I'm heading towards 50. I'm heading towards 60. I think whatever age you are, when you've lived life, I think at some point you have to decide it is kind of dating out your box. Because a woman said to me the other day, I don't see that as settling. I get why she said that, because you've had to reprogram your mind to accept it's still settling. That was never the man on the white horse that you imagined. It wasn't. So what it is, a lot of us are little low-key damsels, and he ain't coming to save us, bro. He ain't coming. So, he ain't coming. So at some point, or she ain't coming. So at some point, there's men that I know who wouldn't date women with children. I actually know an acquaintance, and even if the woman's children are adults, he don't want her.
That's
She's got
crazy.
to have no children.
There's some men that are like that, and some women that are like that as well.
Yeah, okay, but and society's saying, why won't you date her? Why? He doesn't want no woman that's had that.
Why does he have to date her? He has a preference. He doesn't have to.
But women don't. Women who preferences, and emasculate men all the time. A man can't tell us that because we don't accept rejection. You have to understand that. Women don't accept the same rejection men do every day.
No, I hear that because
Women,
I see the way women react when I talk about certain
we
things.
don't even tell nobody, right? But you low key. A man tell you you're not my type, you might hold a meds for a few days on that.
Let's not get into women and rejection because we can get deep there, you know.
Yeah. So
let's go deep.
So viewers, let's go to the viewers because I know that these two fellas might have a little bit of a home life curfew as well as time wraps up. So viewers, what's your thoughts so far on the conversations we've had? And for the person that was trying to come in, my apologies. If you are still present and you want to grab the last 5 minutes, let me know. If you want this, put a message in the inbox and let me know so I can allow one person to leave so that you can come in and have your say. Because I can still see the notification saying that you want to come in. So let me know if you actually really are here. If that should say, I don't know, an error. You're here. Okay. Sistrin, may I let you go? Thank you
Yes.
so much for
Thank
joining
you
me.
so much.
By the way, feel free to
My
inbox
pleasure.
me. Feel free to inbox me and arrange a live because you're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And any topic goes. Any topic goes as long as it flows.
Definitely. Thank you, guys.
All
right.
All right. Peace and
Blessings,
love.
yeah,
Let's have this
blessings.
gentleman come in. Yeah. And let's have his say as we wrap up this live. Hang on a minute. You can disconnect this string. There you go. So let's bring the gentleman in. Can you resend the request because it's just showing that you're present, but a bit of a blank box. So resend your request. Yeah, you're gonna have to resend your request. Spoken word. Yeah. There you go. Now resend it for me, please, and let's see what you want to share. Triggered thoughts continuing to big you up as you remain with me on the lives. Probably one of the longest one you've had. Yeah. But that goes to show because viewers are still here. That goes to show.
100%. Good.
I'm not sure why I can't bring you in. I don't know. Let me see if I can. How do I? Let me see if I can.
Cause this life hasn't cut out.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Our page is mad.
You know what? I'm trying to bring you in, and there's no kind of invite box. And when you click on, I don't know why I can't just accept you. Sometimes it messes around. Do me a favor, very quickly, check that your Instagram app does not need updating because sometimes